Welcome to the first round of the Global Startup Pitch Competition jointly organized by WiT and Phocuswright. We're so excited to be here again this year, and we're fortunate to have the joint strength of our partnership with all of our networks, including all of you, to surface innovations during this startup competition. I'm Kimberly Newbury, and I'll be guiding you around the world as we welcome the startups who have made it to this stage. Congratulations to all of the startups. We had 111 apply back in March, which we've shortlisted down to 25 for today's round one. A huge thank you to our partners and our sponsors who are supporting innovation and all of these wonderful companies. Thanks also to all of our wonderful judges who have evaluated the 111 entrants for the competition and have brought it down to the 25 that you'll see presenting here today. We really couldn't have done it without them. So we'll follow the sun today for the competition, and you'll be hearing from 20 different startups, beginning with APAC and moving on to Middle East and Africa, Europe, the Americas, and wrapping up with a wild card category that we have determined this year to surface ideas that are particularly global and future-oriented and really attack next-generation challenges. Although judges were assigned to specific regions, they were selected based on expertise and understanding of the global travel tech landscape. Tonight, we'll pick the finalists that will advance to the semifinals, which will be held online August 24th. The grand finals will be held on our main stage in person at WiT Singapore this October from the 2nd to the 4th, where we will be calling all humans to take part in the human revolution. This is the first time we've announced this superbly imagined theme that puts our dilemmas with Web3, AI, data, and decentralization right at the center of the discussion. After we select a winner at WiT, we'll bring them out to the Phocuswright conference in Florida this November for a 5-minute spotlight presentation. Before all that, please welcome Mike Coletta, Phocuswright's Manager of Research and Innovation, who is integral to the success of the Global Startup Pitch Competition and is going to update us on what's happening in the world of travel startups. Mike, welcome.
Thank you, Kimberly. It's a long event today. I just wanted to take a few minutes to set the stage with a quick overview of the state of travel startups using data from our database of over 4,500 companies that we're tracking. Let's make sure I can advance. Oh, there we go. Okay, so some quick background. Phocuswright's been collecting data on travel startups going back about 15 years now. So quite a long time. We have a very robust database at this point. And for this analysis, I wanted to talk about the fundraising environment. So I looked at funding for startups founded in the past decade, so since 2013. And that equated to 3,340 companies who have raised $74.1 billion in funding. Now, if you saw the article that I published exactly a month ago on Phocuswire and Web and Travel, you know, I highlighted that travel startup funding was off to quite a weak start this year because as of late April, we were only tracking a little over $400 million raised, putting things far behind relative to, say, the $23.1 billion that was raised in the full year 2021 when money was flowing in that low interest rate environment. But I'm happy to say that a month later, since I published that article, we're now tracking a full $1 billion for 2023 so far, highlighted in the red circle on this chart, which shows funding activity for the past decade. So more money was raised in the last 3 to 4 weeks than all of basically Q1. So that bodes well for the idea that it was a rough first quarter and bank troubles and higher interest rates and other factors played a role in that. But things appear to be picking up for now. Perhaps investors are seeing how well travel demand's holding up, despite many other areas of the economy weakening. You know, the pandemic, it really did seem to make people appreciate travel that much more than ever. And they may continue to spend a lot on it despite economic conditions. Let's all hope so. And in some related good news on the chart, the number of funding rounds on the blue line. So for this year so far, it's decent at 138, which puts things on track to be on par with prior years in terms of overall funding activity. Now, since this is a regional competition, I wanted to highlight the state of funding by region. In the past decade, the most deals were done and the most funding was raised in North America, with 35.4 billion raised in 1,769 funding rounds. And Asia Pacific follows in terms of dollars raised with 25.1 billion. But one thing that puts North America that far ahead of the rest of the world is that we track autonomous vehicle companies in our database, and GM's Cruise has raised 15 billion in the last 7 years or so. So that company alone puts North America a good amount ahead. Then Europe edges out Asia Pacific in terms of the number of deals done, with 1,621 versus 1,448. And Europe comes in third in funding overall with 11.9 billion. So I think a fairly safe conclusion is that Europe has been a little friendlier to earlier stage companies because there are more funding rounds happening on the smaller side there. The Middle East is next with 1.2 billion raised over 189 deals, and funding activity is pretty minimal from what we see in Latin America and Africa. So just a quick takeaway on all this is that funding is definitely the tightest it's been in a while, and travel startups need to get back to basics if they haven't already, and be prepared to weather the storm. Money was quite easy to come by. Money was quite easy to come by in 2021 and 2022, but that's pretty much over for now. Investors' focus has shifted away from growth at all costs, that mindset that was really prominent in 2021, back to fundamentally important metrics like profitability and unit economics. And it takes a lot longer to raise money in this environment if you need to. And this isn't anything too new. It's probably been true for even around a year now, but it's tightening that much more. So I hope this presentation gave you some helpful insights. Let's get to the competition. Back to you, Kimberly.
Thanks, Mike. So exactly, now we're going to move on with round one of Global Startup Pitch Competition. And as a refresher, the judging criteria that we apply to the competition are outlined here: viability, customer appeal, technological innovation, sustainability, team, and everyone's favorite, the X factor. Onto the regions we're looking at first. We'll go through Asia Pacific first. And during this first round today, our judges will narrow down the 25 who have applied to the pitching for today, down to 15 finalists. Those 15 will then compete in the semifinals during an online forum this August 24th. After that, all 6 of them will answer Suhoon's call for humans to join the human revolution out at WiT in October. So kicking off our regions today, as I said, Asia Pacific, then Middle East, Africa, Europe, and moving across the globe with the Americas and wrapping up with wildcards. So each region, startups will have 5 minutes to pitch, and our panel of judges will have 3.5 minutes for questions. We'll be quite strict on timing as usual, really to keep things fair. And please be aware, presenters, that if your timing does go long, you may be cut off. Well, I'll come up on the screen so you will see me when your time runs out. Remember that this format is meant to keep the playing field fair and ensure that everyone has the same amount of time. So we're looking forward to some lively discussions today as we kick off Asia Pacific and welcome our judges for this region. Shiwei Zhu, Bart Bellers, Laura Holdsworth, Nick Cox, and Simeon Genie will be our judges. Thanks so much for joining us and for being here to evaluate our startups. First up today is Murray Decker, founder and CEO of Tour Amigo. Murray, please bring up your presentation and make sure that we're all able to hear you by double checking your mute button. And when you start speaking, the timer for 5 minutes will begin. When you see me pop up, your time is up.
Thank you very much. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, Murray.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. And you can see my screen now?
Yes.
Good.
I can see.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that intro. Hello, everyone. My name is Murray Decker. I am the founder of Amigo. I'm based in Brisbane, Australia, and here at the moment, I'm bringing you the pitch today for Amigo, which is a technology and software company, and we specialize in travel businesses and also in events. So the main focus of Amigo is to, I'm just trying to get to the next slide here, is that you might find that you've done an extended tour before, gone overseas. Our specialty is in the complex itinerary market, the multi-day tour space, whether that's on land, on river cruising, or ocean cruising. You'll be surprised to know that 95% of these companies that are putting together these complex packages do not have a booking and reservation or back-end system. And the reason for that is that they have been incredibly expensive in the past and very highly complex. So you needed a very specialized team and software companies and developers to put this together. They've also been relying for 30 years on traditional travel agents sending the 80 to 90% of their bookings online. So the solution that we offer has three different categories here. Firstly, we are a complete business to business company. We're not business to consumer facing, and our main product is a software as a service that powers the entire back-end operation of travel businesses, whether that's a tour operator, a destination management company, a travel agency, a private bespoke tour through like camping through Africa or throughout Morocco, camel rides that might have 3 nights stay in the Sahara Desert. The SaaS software not only allows them to put together the itineraries and the booking and reservations, but it's a full ERP system operationally, as well as a financial system for them. It does all their accounts payable, all the reconciliation for them. It also gives them a bookable API, a live connectivity, allowing most of our tour operators for the first time to be able to sell their full packages on their own websites, which is the online booking process in the middle. That also includes a B2B agent login. So they can actually have all of their travel agents come into the website and take the bookings. The very unique differentiation from us is that we can also then provide them distribution to travel agencies, OTAs, airlines, anyone who would like to sell these complex and package tours, which are highly profitable, to a global market, because we are providing them for the first time with a bookable API. The market size, when you factor in both ocean cruising, river cruising, on the ground, multi-day land touring, private bespoke, and travel agencies, is estimated around that 210 billion. You can see which is the market that we're focusing on, and this market has been growing year on year, 9%, with the exception of the COVID period. The competitive landscape is slim. There is literally 5 to 6 companies that are in a similar category, generally specializing in different areas such as day tours and activities. And this is where we really need to make the distinction that we are completely separate vertical to day tours and activities. The multi-day or complex itinerary space is completely untapped and very manual process at the moment. But the advantage to us is that when they adopt our software, it's totally entrenching in their system. It is their whole back-end sort of system that's there. So combined with that sort of natural defensibility, we also have many features, and most of these features, particularly when it comes to a bookable API, is very difficult for other companies to duplicate because of their systems have been built many, many years ago, or it's been an internal build that they've spent, the tour operators spent a lot of money internally building out their own system that they need to continually update. So the opportunity that we have here is that, like, we have our targets that we're on track for during this year, that we'll have 20 SaaS clients in our system with a monthly recurring revenue. We are growing 30–40% month on month. And the big X factor, I suppose, behind us is that our technology is ubiquitous. It can be used not only just in the spaces that we're focusing on now, where our attention is, but we have transportation companies who are looking to combine public transport with ticketing items to events to create another sort of complex itinerary that might even include a night stay as well. So it's been a big milestone just recently that we've launched into river and ocean cruising as well. And we have some very unique opportunities in the education space for educational travel as well. I open up for questions.
That was great, Murray. Thanks very much. Judges, please bring yourselves up on camera and unmute, and we'll kick off the conversation. So Bart, Laura, Shiwei, Nick, Simeon, who would like to present the first question? We have 3.5 minutes once questions start for you all to investigate some of the things that Murray has talked about.
If I may kick off, Murray, you mentioned that you have an MRR of 75K. My first question is that GMV or is that your revenue?
No, so that's what we're tracking towards at the moment. So, and that's by end of June to the beginning of July. That's what we'll be hitting.
No, I mean, Murray, it's a very simple answer. GMV. So is that the real tour package and the total selling price, or is that your commission, your revenue as a startup?
That's our commission, our revenue.
That's your commission.
That's our commission.
And then the second question linked to that, how is your business model?
So it's a per seat basis, a classic SaaS that they pay a per seat of how many users the tour operator will be using on the SaaS side. And then we also charge travel agencies monthly fees for acquiring our API.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Murray. Great job in your pitch. Perfect timing, obviously. And it's super exciting to see this type of solution really combining a lot of areas together to really solving some true problems. Quick question, in terms of your pipeline, are you only focused on the Australia market right now, or are you looking much broader than that?
No, much broader. In fact, a lot of our customers over COVID were from the UK and Europe that we had because Australia was completely shut down. Only now we start seeing a bounce back from Australia. To be honest, we haven't done any marketing. It's been through referrals and trade shows and events that they've been approaching us. And the more customers get, the more they send us. So we are trying to do a raise at the moment just to actually put more sales and implementation people on board to accommodate the client demand.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I have a question on the business model, whether it's supposed to be a centralized model or is distributed model. The reason I'm asking is that you mentioned Tour Radar is a computer. Tour Radar essentially is the GDS, right? They are connecting all the suppliers and distributing to all the potential travel agencies like Flight Center. And yours is like you are individual travel agencies, etc. Use your API to do the booking services.
It's more for the it's just more for the tour operators that are connecting into Tour Radar, because the majority of the tour operators will have to manually load their products into the back end of Tour Radar because they don't have a live bookable API, and then Tour Radar would distribute out from there. But the good news for these operators is there's multiple different Tour Radars opening up now, and the tour operators can't manage manually uploading their products into every single OTA and travel agency manually.
I just feel like this service might be better suited for Tour Radar to offer versus a startup to do that in terms of the resources required.
Yeah, Tour Radar is more a business to consumer e-commerce platform where you load your products up for them to sell directly to travelers, but also to distribute out to other selling partners. What we're offering is the full back-end booking and reservation operational system and financial system for the tour operators so that Tour Radar can be one of their automated connections and selling partners.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks very much, Murray. Thank you to the judges. Simeon, we'll have you go first for the next one. Thanks very much, Murray. All right.
Questions.
Startup number 2. We have Haeun Lee from Eoding. Haeun, if you could unmute yourself and bring your presentation live. We'll put 5 minutes on the clock and start as soon as you're up.
Oh, can I start?
Yep, you're good to go.
Yep. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Haeun Lee, and I will be your speaker today. I'm delighted to present Eoding, a SaaS enterprise platform designed to assist travel agency with a digital transformation. By the end of this presentation, I'm hope to provide a clear understanding of our business model and answer any questions you may have. Let's dive right in. As you know, it is widely known that the COVID crisis has caused a severe decline in international travel and tourism. However, we anticipate a tremendous resurgence in the post-pandemic era, with the market expected to experience exponential growth each year. As Korea's economy grows, the travel market has expanded accordingly. This has led to a significant rise in customer demand and travel-related needs. The industry now urgently requires digital transformation because it has primarily relied on labor and human network, which is very traditional structure in travel market in Korea. We had anticipated that the issue, I said, would be resolved with the growth of online travel agency, OTA. However, the fees have increased because of the intricate distribution structure. Consequently, the travel agency have experienced a decline in profits, and customers have ended up purchasing more expensive travel products. Thus, we aim to address this problem by offering a SaaS-based enterprise platform. Our company supports travel agency with digital transformation by 3 key solutions. First, we provide a complementary web builder system that empowers travel agency to establish and strengthen their branding. Secondly, provide an ERP system to streamline and simplify the workflow for a travel agency, making their operations more efficient. And last, provide a channeling system to assist the travel agencies in selling their products across multiple sales channels. This is achieved through seamless API integration with Korea travel and shopping. As you can see, along with the pandemic, we have been experiencing rapid growth in partnership with the various domestic travel agencies, achieving a monthly transaction volume of 20 billion Korean won mobile, and have been growing at 120% every month since October 2022. Next, this presentation highlights the introduction and transformative impacts of Eoding in the travel market. The primary emphasizes that small and medium-sized travel agencies enable to enhance their customer touch points through system-driven operations. This page presents our market size analysis, and we are actively preparing for a full-scale global expansion starting from 2024. To facilitate this, we are actively engaging in a fruitful discussion with international partners and developing an international payment system, as well as a multilingual system too. This is our target country, which have a rapid economic growth like Korea. They are experience explosive growth in travel demand alongside their economic expansion. In conclusion, Eoding anticipates achieving a growth trajectory like what you see. We are expecting to attain substantial revenue projections for 2023. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to present our business model today. We are here to address any questions and to provide the best possible answers. Please feel free to ask any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thanks, Haeun Lee. I think we'll kick off with Simeon, since he didn't get a chance to ask a question the last time around. So if you have a question, Simeon, otherwise we can pass to someone else.
Yeah, I have a quick I have a quick question regarding your business model. Given that you have a big ambitions, you have to offer the ERP solution, distribution solution. So it's like a chicken egg problem. So no?
could you please say your game, because the audio is not good for us.
Okay, so I think you have a big ambitions to solve all the problems in one tranche, such as you have to build a ERP system to offer the distribution solution. So it sounds like a chicken egg questions. You must first digitalize the supply side, then you can have them to use your distribution system. So which is the first part you're going to achieve, and how could you do that?
We are trying to achieve to ERP system more because like the domestic, the small and medium-sized travel agency, they are not having any digital digital transformation things. So we are trying to make ERP system more, and we try to develop ERP system more, and trying to provide an ERP system professionally to them.
So my second question linked to, yes, thank you. My second question linked to the first one is that how can you make your revenue mostly from the offering the ERP system, or you get your commission from your distribution solution?
You mean how can we make the revenue through the ERP system?
No. I mean, mostly from the ERP, or mostly from the commission from your distribution.
I think both. Because we already provide a ERP system and a commission system together, so that's our one of the revenue things for us. Is it okay?
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, can we move on to another judge? We've got about 30 seconds left. Nick, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Very quick one. Thanks for the presentation. One of the challenges of bringing offline to online is assisting them with their digital marketing. Does your platform assist them in any way with the digital marketing that they need to do?
The digital marketing, you mean? Oh, we are trying to do the digital marketing, like such as, I don't know, it's a correct, but Instagram or kind of newspaper, we use digital marketing too. Is it good to you to answer the questions?
Thank you.
Thanks very much. That is the end of question time for Eoding, and we'll be moving on to our next presenter. So next up today is Anna Weidling from Roady Travel. Anna, if you can bring your presentation up, and we'll make sure that we're able to hear you. And when you start speaking, we'll start the timer.
Can you see my presentation now?
We can see your presentation. Looks great.
Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, hi, my name is Anna, Partnerships and Marketing Lead at Roady. A few years ago, our founder, Roscoe Price-Moore, decided to start exploring New Zealand and quickly learned just how difficult it was to find the information to plan a road trip. So he set out to uncover the country's best spots and began documenting his travels online, posting photos and videos about the epic experiences in New Zealand to social media under a name branded Roady, which gained rapid traction. Fast forward a couple of years, and we've now got an engaged following of over 220,000 people with a monthly reach consistently over 1 million organically. A recent stat from Google stated that 40% of Gen Z are using TikTok and Instagram as their search engine, which we see firsthand every day, with thousands of people not just liking our content, but saving it. While social media is great for getting travel and inspiration, there's only so much you can do with a list of saved posts. Our travelers were still having to create itineraries in a Google Doc, add location pins to their Google Maps, and pull together information from multiple sources.
Using Safe Light Autoglass.
We also discovered a huge problem.
Smartphone or near a computer, you can save time by visiting safelight.com to get quotes and schedule or.
Is someone else hearing that?
Yes.
So
Kim,
sorry.
something is wrong.
Yeah.
Am I good to keep going? Sorry.
Yeah, we'll make sure we put time on the clock for you. Sorry about that, Anna.
No worries, thanks. Yeah, so we also discovered a huge problem for the tourism operators in that many find it difficult to reach the millennial and Gen Z demographic. A big part of this is because they don't know how to leverage social media. Many of these operators were reaching out to Roady to gain visibility through our channels. Enter the Roady app, which makes it easy for travelers to find cool things to do and plan epic trips, and enables tourism operators to connect with this audience. Our app can be broken down into 3 key phases: find, do, and share. With close to 800 curated experiences from all over New Zealand, travelers are inspired through our imagery and able to discover experiences they didn't know existed. Travelers can then put these experiences in their own bucket list to complete on their travels, tick them off by uploading a photo. All ticked off experiences are then saved as pins on their map of New Zealand, and eventually you'll be able to keep a collection of your travels as pins from all over the world, starting with Australia next year. Once you've ticked off an experience, you can then share your Roady branded image from the app to your personal social media. We're already seeing a great response to this feature, and it's helping us with free word of mouth marketing. The app is also gamified and really taps into the addictive notion of ticking things off a list. We have a competitive top 100 leaderboard, and users can also earn an array of badges for completing certain travel milestones. Our app has now been live for 11 months, and we've seen some great traction with over 35,000 downloads, over 5,000 active monthly users, and almost 70,000 experiences have been ticked off, which means that users have uploaded 70,000 photos of their travels onto our app. We started giving tourism operators the opportunity to list on the app about 9 months ago, and with limited sales resource, we've currently got 24 operators with 33 unique listings on the platform. We've also recently finished building in-app advertising functionality where our criteria is that the company offers a deal to bring value to our users. We've recently signed top 10 holiday parks as our first advertising client for an initial 12 months at $10,000. Going forwards, we're increasing the price to $15,000 though. The beauty of our model is that the cost of acquisition for both travelers and operators is nothing when it comes to paid spend. Our social media provides our top of funnel with our large organic monthly reach, as well as the free word of mouth marketing from our users. We have great relationships with tourism boards from all over New Zealand who are helping us promote the app to both travelers and operators. And we've been able to leverage relationships with our key partners such as top 10 holiday parks that have our collateral in their 43 sites around New Zealand, and Fortune Favours with who we brewed the Roady beer. But the reason our cost of acquisition is nothing is that we lead the New Zealand market in the content creation and digital space. These projects double as our marketing, and we're essentially getting paid to shoot the content we need for both our app and our social media. We've had so much interest in these partnerships that we just raised our pricing for the start of the financial year and are fully booked out for the next few months. We've now worked with 26 regional tourism organisations in New Zealand, as well as Tourism New Zealand, many on multiple campaigns. We've also worked with many of the country's leading tourism operators and have an ongoing partnership with many, as previously mentioned. We're starting to get a lot of interest from big multinational brands who are looking to align themselves with Roady brand and our values. At the end of last year, we signed a 12-month partnership with Polestar, ChargeNet, and Sixt, who are helping us work towards our goal of making all of our trips carbon neutral. With over half of all advertising dollars now spent online, and with the tourism industry ramping up again, both our app and content offerings are in a great position to capitalize. Taking the average online marketing spend specifically for the tourism businesses, we believe the market opportunity to be 200 million in New Zealand, 850 million including Australia, and well into the billions when we take it to the UK, US, and beyond. We comfortably tripled our revenue in the 2023 financial year and are projecting a healthy year-on-year growth over the next 2 years, with our focus being on growing our app revenue. We have a talented and diverse team of 8, including 2 board members with extensive experience in the tourism sector. The founders currently own 82% of Roady before the dilution that will occur as part of this equity round, and 15% is allocated for staff ESOP. We're seeking via a seed equity round a minimum of $300,000 at a valuation of 2.8 million, which will primarily be used as we prepare for our launch into Australia. Thanks so much for listening and happy to answer any questions.
Thanks very much, Anna. Could I ask you to take your presentation down? And we will ask Shiwei, Laura, and Bart to kick us off with questions for this round.
Sure, thank you. So 2 quick questions. One is what's the difference between app revenue versus non-app revenue? The other one is who do you think is your competitor?
So to answer your first question, app revenue for us is for operators that are listed on the app and companies that will be listed for in-app advertising. And then non-app revenue is the content shoots that we do. So we go out and shoot for regional tourism organisations, Tourism New Zealand, and then as we expand, we intend to do the same thing in Australia and further on. So that's the content revenue.
And the competitor?
Go ahead,
sorry.
Bart.
And the competitor?
Competitors, we see our competitors as, for the content side, the digital marketing agencies. There are some in New Zealand, but then also on the app side, TripAdvisor and the big players like that, although we're nowhere near at the same size as them. In New Zealand, there are few similar companies to us.
Thank you.
Bart, do you have a question? Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, maybe one question. I mean, the split between the non-app and the in-app revenue. So you were mentioning the non-app is mainly services, right? You're doing content creation, etc. What's that split? How much was that percentage-wise? Split in-app from travelers and out non-app?
So currently, the majority of our revenue comes from the non-app revenue, from shooting the content and promotion, but that's sort of tiding our way as we get more funding to develop the app further and get more listings on the app and the in-app advertising feature launched properly. So the in-app is where we see the scalability.
Okay.
Laura, do you have a question?
No, well, yeah, maybe quick. Anna, you mentioned the next one would be Australia. So I mean, I think it makes sense. New Zealand, it's word of mouth is spreading fast. How do you anticipate scaling when you decide to launch a new country?
We've already begun speaking to content creators in many different countries. We've had quite a few from Europe actually reach out to us, and we've had some agencies that work with marketing agencies that work with tourism organizations in Europe as well. Strangely, particularly Denmark, Sweden, Finland.
Would that be focused on your content? Would that be your non-app revenue then, your content creation revenue?
Yeah, so the primary way we see scaling will be talking to the regional tourism organizations in the different countries, as we have done in New Zealand, and getting the word of mouth kind of marketing advertising out there through that. Having the app promoted and continuing to grow our socials in different countries and get the Roady brand out there.
Okay, thanks, Anna. Thanks, judges. We have another startup coming up, James South from Igoroom. James, if you could bring up your presentation. Okay, James, you have 5 minutes once you start speaking. So I will go down and you can kick off.
Okay, thank you. So my name is James South, and I'm the CEO and founder of Igotopia, which is a holding company with wholly owned subsidiaries, Gecko Digital and Igoroom. So our vision is simply to change the way that people book holidays forever. In 2022, we broke all records for equity crowdfunding in Southeast Asia, matching the biggest raise with the single biggest ticket investment for seed in crowdfunding history. When we look at today's landscape of how luxury travel is bought, $1 in $4 is spent on travel globally, luxury travel globally, which counts for about a $450 billion subsector. With VR and travel being at its highest adoption point, combined with the bounce back in luxury travel and immersive technologies taking center stage as the world begins to embrace meta platforms and with the highest compounded annual growth rate set to topple 19% by 2026 in luxury travel, it's within this perfect storm that Gecko Digital has capitalized and become the largest VR content marketing agency for hospitality in Asia Pacific. Already amassing the largest VR library in the Indian Ocean and Southeast Asia and scaling fast, with the #1 market share in Asia Pacific, over 600 clients using our 3D walkthroughs and having accrued more than 21,000 images in our library. So as VR is rapidly becoming table stakes in luxury tourism marketing, Gecko Digital has unlocked what we believe to be the secret to our success, which is distribution of content by facilitating strategic partnerships with tourism boards and wholesalers in countries where tourism makes the biggest outsized contribution to GDP, to provide them with virtual reality directories where the hotels then pay us for the content to appear on those directories. So having already partnered with the Maldives Tourism Board, we've already gained a 90% market penetration in a country with the highest average daily rates, mapping more than 120 out of 140 hotels from the sky, in the rooms and under the water, and owning that content and its distribution. Within this context, we are now rolling out similar initiatives in the Africas, Indian Ocean and Caribbean. This also allows us to create a curriculum for VR production to help empower local communities with newer technologies and springboard our production rollout capabilities. Emboldened with the knowledge that owning the IP and distribution rights of such a vast VR content library in such key locations not only gives us a huge competitive advantage, but more importantly poses the question, if this content is so effective on B2B and trade channels, why is there no OTA focused wholly on virtual reality as its front end? And how is the idea of Igoroom born? So Igoroom, the world's first virtual reality online travel agent, a truly virtual reality luxury booking engine. We believe that the online travel space is homogenized and lacks both the intimacy and transparency that only a content-rich VR booking engine provides. Generating some fundamental market research and compiling our own unit economics, the results are startling, suggesting an unprecedented appetite for a more immersive booking experience, turning lookers into bookers on not just the demand side, but also supply side, as we jointly satisfy hotels' needs by empowering them with the same content used on Igoroom. Knowing that the market is ripe for this kind of innovation, we have spent the last 2 years building what we believe to be the sleekest booking experience, allowing users to tour seamlessly through their prospective hotels from the sky, in the rooms, and under the water. Having onboarded some of the world's top luxury hotels for a curated journey, we put our VR content frontline and center. Igoroom throws the consumer right into an immersive experience from the get-go. Here we can toggle between resorts or simply click on a hotel landing page and throw us right into the property and give us the kind of screen real estate our customers deserve. Moving through the hotel via our customized VR skin, the user can now choose a location, select a scene within that location, or simply tap on one of the hotspots to walk through to the next area. You'll notice everything loads seamlessly fast as we tap into AWS hosting capabilities and 4 and 5G load speeds. Once satisfied, they have a better understanding of the hotel. They can now tour the destination via our Explore button, where we have mapped entire countries and local areas of interest in VR, an all-encompassing app covering both product and destination in VR. Igoroom and Gecko Digital are uniquely poised to take advantage, as our vision of distributing content across a value chain of strategic partnerships is now paving the way for limited licensing models on content, and don't we believe that we've got the right team to execute. So culminating in years of experience in both the hotelier and distribution side of online travel, we have attracted some of the largest names in travel and tech who have celebrated with us in our seed investment round. We're now welcoming new investors, offering a 20% stake in a $5 million round for the holding company to launch Igoroom and celebrate the next chapter in what has been the most exciting journey so far.
Right. Thanks very much, James.
No way.
Judges, come on up. Bart, Laura, Shiwei, Nick, Simeon, any questions for James?
I might go first.
Yeah.
How much to create a VR content per hotel room or per hotel?
Yeah, so our cost of sale is $50 per image. Normally a hotel will take anywhere between 20 and 100 images. And our resale is $500. We've got a 10x markup on the cost of sale to what we sell that for.
So basically, you have two businesses in one. On one hand, you have content creation. You're going after creating the VR. Hotels, etc., pay for you. And on the other end, you're taking that content and you're trying to sell it online. You're asking $5 million for a $5 million for what valuation? Like what? 25 million something? May I ask your revenues?
Yeah, so our projected revenue for this year is
your
2
current
million.
revenues.
Our current revenues last year, we closed at 650,000 US. This year, we're on target for $1 million.
And that is your revenues, and the majority of that is content creation?
So majority of that is content creation, but we're looking to launch Igoroom, which is the OTA with the VR front end.
Then I have one last question on the content creation part, because that's, of course, I mean, I've seen many businesses that have been building that, and the big problem is the operational logistics of creating it constantly everywhere. How do you think AI is going to change your business on the content creation part?
So we are looking into building our own machine learning algorithms that will take the vast amount of data sets that we have in the back end and our workflow and replicating some of those data sets to use AI to create LUDs and presets. So we have the same type of quality and imagery that we've become synonymous with.
Okay, thank you.
I have a quick question regarding the conversion rate. So how do you see the VR content conversion rate comparing with the ordinary mobile content?
Sorry, the VR commercial rate.
Conversion rate, I mean the content to booking conversion rate.
So how do we see the VR commercial rate? I'm not sure I understand. Just expand on that.
Conversion.
So VR conversion is 130% millennials are more likely to book through a virtual tour. So what we do see is when we empower corporates and hotels with virtual tours that we put on their direct channels, we run analytics in the background and we see bounce rates going down dramatically. We see sticky time going up because people are more engaged. And we map the book now button in our virtual tours on direct channels as an event. So we're marking what our conversion is to send traffic to their booking engine, and then it's up to their booking engine to convert that, and that's the hotels. But when we see these metrics coming in, the biggest question is, why is no one indirectly doing this? And I think the answer to that is part of the problem and the solution that we provide is that they can't standardize the content and they have to own that library in the first place.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll have you go first on the next one. Thanks very much, James. And we have our next participant coming up. Harsh, can you please bring up your presentation? There you are. Harshvardhan Amle from Upswing Cognitive Hospitality Solutions. Welcome.
Thanks. So
we'll put 5 minutes on the clock. As soon as you start speaking, we will start the timer.
Everyone, while all the other industries we see are always at the forefront of adopting new and innovative technologies, and fall under first three categories of this diffusion chart, hospitality in particular has always been a laggard. The fact is that it took us COVID-19 pandemic to realize the real potential of predictive analytics and contactless guest technologies. In the hindsight, we find that hotels and guests face significant challenges due to fragmented data sources, reliance on legacy systems, and unavailability of first-party data, creating an unending loop of data silos. Now, on the one hand, hotels struggle in gaining any comprehensive, forward-looking or guest intelligence, hindering the ability to optimize their operations and revenue, which is directly proportional to the suboptimal experiences that guest has. Hence, with a deep understanding of these problems, we have developed an enterprise suite of solutions bundled in one powerful single platform that contains a revenue management, a guest data, and a housekeeping task management platform for the hotel side, and a fully white labeled, fully loaded contactless app for the guests. Our platform leverages power of machine learning by connecting across the entire hospitality ecosystem. We are fueled by over 50 plus synergetic software and hardware integrations that empower us to deliver outstanding performance and great functionalities. We love our competitors because they and the way they dominate the market. Sendin, Revenate, Salesforce are few of the global leaders in guest analytics, while Doof, Houdini, Saba are top emerging ones in the contactless arena. However, what sets us apart really is the cross-site network effect that our solutions offer, which means not only do we provide solutions for the hotels, but also we cater to their guests' requirements. And by addressing needs of both the sides of the equation, the value of platform is increased exponentially. Now, the other benefit or other advantage that we have is our products or solution form a product service ecosystem. And I think companies like Apple and Adobe are a classic example on how they leverage on this business model. And yeah, I forgot. So the business model is B2B SaaS. Hotels pay us on number of rooms they have. So talking about the insights, in the app arena, it is surprising to see that almost 60% of the global apps are dominated by big hotel chains like Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham. And this landscape has potential of about $2.4 billion US. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. All the other component of the contactless app has their own demand. So this makes the opportunity even more bigger. Talking about the CRM or guest analytics, the addressable market is about $2 billion US. And there are top 10 companies who dominate this space. And the reason they dominate this space is because these companies have bigger pockets to adapt to any ever-changing market requirements, integrate on very fast-paced environment. We are very proud of the customers we have. Top hotels, super luxury hotels in Middle East. We have recently signed a contract with Europe's well-known chain, operates about 13 to 15 properties all over Europe. This has been a long journey. One of the major advantages that we have is our recent agreement with Messerschmitt Systems, one of our partner companies. This is an exclusive agreement whereby we'll be white labeling our solutions for Messerschmitt. Messerschmitt is leading manufacturer of access control and in-room hardware in the European region. I am a salesman. I've been a salesman all my life. I've sold PMS for about 15 years in RMS Cloud. RMS is an Australian property management system company. There is another Harsh, who's an engineering comes from an engineering background, ex-L&T Infotech, ex-Accenture. Jeff is ex-Intelity, been working together since 10, 12 years now. Our investors are RMS Cloud. Peter and Jerry has been our cornerstone in supporting and advising us in the business. We have raised about $200,000 till date, looking forward to raise $500,000 till $1 million for further growth.
Okay, Harsh, we're out of time. Judges, please come on up and present yourselves on camera. And Harsh, thanks for taking your presentation down. All right, who would like to kick it off? Nick, I think you're up.
Thanks, Kimberly, and thank you, Harsh, for the presentation. Selling to hotels is a challenge because of the industry structure with a separate ownership and operating entity. Can you tell us, how you're planning to attack that market, given the challenges of that structure?
Yeah, so the classic case is Taj Hotels, very first customer that we have. So what happened is the moment we have rolled our applications and solutions, this has created a sort of a ripple effect amongst other hotels as well. So right now what we are seeing is once we have implemented these solutions, we are seeing other Taj Hotels in Middle East and even in India coming to us and asking for the case studies and try to do the pilot and implementation. So I think, getting a pilot and, starting with one of the properties that has really worked for us. The second example is the Idyllic Hotels. Owned by Idyllic, but operated by Wyndham. So the owner themselves have decided that, Upswing would be part of their tech stack. So plus, of course, we have a strategic advantage of having the board members who can influence it.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
A quick question on your sales strategy. Do you want to target individual independent hotels, or you want to target hotel chains? If you want to target hotel chains, do you want to target large hotel chains or smaller, or maybe geographically? Any choices?
Yeah, so definitely we want to target individual independent boutique hotels, also the chains wherever possible. And geographically, as we are already present in Middle East and Europe, so yeah, I mean, there's no specific segment, but yes, any 4 to 7-star hotel category can be our customer. And is there any, I didn't get the last part of your question, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I think you answered it.
Okay.
Harsh, I have a question. I mean, I saw in one of your slides, you have a machine learning between all the PMSs and all the other systems. You need to explain me that. And not like in technical words, but what is the machine learning doing for one hotel? Because machine learning is based on big data. So it's one hotel with one PMS connected. What is the machine learning doing there?
Where there is big data, there is machine learning. So one of the classic examples that we did, or a case study or use case we did with machine learning, was to predict cancellations. So when we started our pilot in 2020, we used artificial neural network to predict cancellations for the hotels. So there are...
Got it. Yeah. And I suggest that you relook at your business model and focus on that rather than the whole guest experience at that. Because I think that's much more money to be made than in selling it one by one to hotels. That's your solution for the future.
Understood.
Okay, that's a wrap on judges' questions, and it's actually a wrap on Asia. Thank you all so much. Nick Cox, Bart Beller, Shimeon Shi, Laura Holdsworth, and Shiwi Zhu. Please submit your scoring, and we will see you on the other side. Thanks very much for all of your hard work and contributions and tough questions.